Well, here's the basic function y equals x squared. And if I want to graph y equals x squared plus 2, I just set up a t-bar chart and I plugged in -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So I'm just going to graph x squared plus 2 and look to see what happens. If x equals -2, y equals positive 6. If x equals -1, y equals positive 3. If x equals 0, y equals 2. If x equals 1, y equals 3. And if x equals 2, y equals 6. And if I connect the dots, and compare it to the basic graph, I look at that if y equals x squared plus 2, that the graph moved up 2 units. And it's the number that I'm adding to x squared. Now, if I wanted to graph g of x equals x squared minus 2, and look at it, again, I set up a t-bar chart, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. I plug it into x squared minus 2. -2 for x squared, I get 2. -1 is -1 squared minus 2, I get -1. 0, I get -2. 1, I get -1. 2, I get positive 2. So that -2, positive 2, -2, positive 2, -1, -1, 0, -2, 1, -1, and 2, -2, 2. Now if I connect the dots again, and I look at the graph of y equals x squared minus 2, I notice that the impact is to move the graph down 2 units. So what's the impact is that I would move the graph up and down depending upon what I'm adding. Up and down depending upon what I'm adding. So the impact is to move the basic graph namely, in this case, y equals x squared, up or down 2 units. Up if I have a plus 2, down if I have a minus 2. So the basic transformation is going to be essentially the old function, or the basic, add some constant, or we can say it's f of x, which is the old function, add a constant. And it would be up if the constant is positive, and down if the constant were negative. And it is going to be performed by taking the y value and adding c to it. if I look at the graph or the basic function being y equals the square root of x, so f of x equals the square root of x plus 4, this is the basic plus 4. So since I'm going to be adding 4, its impact is to move the square root of x up 4 units. It's going to be performed by adding 4 to the y values. So in this particular instance, I'm going to use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 in my chart because the domain of the square root of x must be greater than or equal to 0, because if x is negative, I have an imaginary number. So square root of 0 is 0, square root of 1 is 1, square root of 2 is about 1.4, square root of 3 is about 1.7, square root of 4 is 2. Now, this is my basic. This is the square root of x plus 4, which means I'm going to add 4 to the y value, so I'll have 4, 5, 5.4, 5.7, and, 6, and 7. So what I have here is the coordinate points of the new function. So if I look just on the outside, I have 0, 4. I have 1, 5. I have 2, 6.4. I'm now off my graph paper. I have 3, 6.7. I have 4, 7, and then here is the new graph. This is y equals the square root of x plus 4. Now if I want to look at that in reference to the basic graph, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, about 1.5, about 1 3/4, and 4 is 2. There's your basic, and you notice that the graph has been moved up 1, 2, 3, 4 units.